Video 3. How Chris Cardell saved us. You've seen in video 2, the dead end was here. We were just hoping and praying that somebody buys us out before we have to put the locks on and shut the thing down and go back to what we dreaded the most. Working for somebody else again, becoming a slave of another boss. Another company that we're going to go and make rich. Another boss that we're going to go and make rich by giving up our dreams. It's what 99% of the people do in the world. I mean, 95% of them work for somebody else. They can't be bothered making it for themselves. I was sick and tired of it. That's why I bought a cab company, trying to do it for myself, as you've seen in the other two videos I've done. So as I was looking at Chris Cardell's on the internet, I explained the end of video number 2. I was looking at him explaining to me how advertising doesn't work. So I read about it, and he said, well, there's lots of things I learned from him, but he broke the ice in my head that I didn't know when I actually believed I did know. You got to listen to video 2 to hear all that. Anyway, I started looking at, I now realize that after reading some of his material, for one, he said, let me prove to you that your advertising doesn't work. Well, I already knew it wasn't working for myself, as I explained in video 2. So I didn't need convincing of that. But he said, look, I'm not saying to you don't do conventional advertising, that's normal advertising that you do. What I am saying to you is to test, see if it's working. I have never heard of those words in my life before. You advertise and you test? What is a test? He said you put out your advert and you test, see how much business you've received from it. So in our case, we put out our cards and let's see how many calls we get. So that's the first thing about your advert. Test it. So I said, all right. So we were doing cards that week anyway, so we did 10,000 cards. And the cost of 10,000 cards to be delivered was £300, and cost of printing 10,000 cards in those was £90. So let's say that's 400 quid to deliver 10,000 cards. Over the next 3 weeks, we checked on the system how much business did we get. We received, I'm speeding things up because I want to show you guys a lot. You don't have to be a slave of your boss. There is a way out, but you have to come to full circle with who you really are. And who you really are is somebody who is caught up in a web where you think you know when you actually don't know what causes the success and failure of businesses. And that's what forces us to stay working for our bosses and making them rich while he buys them a BMW, then a Ferrari, while we sit there counting the pennies where I'm going to pay my next bill. Wow, I never knew that before. So we checked, we received 5 calls. Whoa, hang on a minute. Have we just spent £400 and we've only received 5 calls? 25, 30 years of experience, we never knew that, and we've been doing all this leaflet delivery recently, and all the other companies do the same thing as us. Every door gets about 5 cards drop in front of their door letterbox. We get them all the time at our houses. But right now, Chris told me to test it, which we did, and we checked on our system how many calls did we get from all those streets where we deliver the cards. And it was 5 calls. So we sat and I said, is this true? That we spent £400 on delivering 10,000 houses with our cards, taxi cards with 50p off or a pound off, and 5 people called us. Is this not the same as going out in the street and giving £100 to 5 people and say, use our taxi company? Wow. That was one of many. Oh my God. I now realize just one thing. That we were spending all this money and we were doing this advertising because everybody else does it. Because everybody's doing it, we were doing it. That is one of the biggest failures, because you do what your competitors are doing. We weren't testing, they weren't testing. We didn't know about testing, they didn't know about testing. We didn't know it wasn't working, they don't know it's not working. That's what the people just do it for the sake of doing it. That's the norm. That's why norm in any industry, any field, any business doesn't work. All right, we know that now. That's definitely stopping. What's the next thing? He said, you know when you do your card, who is it for? Didn't understand that. He said, my point is, could you tell me the difference between your card landing on your customer's door and 5 other cards landing on your customer's door? There are 6 cards that have landed on your customer's door, 6 businesses doing what you do. Can you tell me as a customer, right, what would you find different in yours? Still didn't understand. He said, my point is, what's the difference between you and your competitors? I couldn't think of one. He said, give me 3. I could not think of one. He said, well, that's another reason why they're not calling you. He explained it in his why advertising doesn't work. He said everybody goes out, does their advertising the normal way. They never test it. They chuck a little bit of budget to one side. It's just one of those things that you do. Advertise, go out there and do it, and it'll just work. And it's working because we don't know anything else, so we just do that. There was no difference. That's the second thing I realized. Well, if there's no difference, then why should my customers be picking me over my competitors? If I can't see why, my customers can't see why either. Number 3, he said, how does your customer benefit? What is in it for your customer when they see your card on the floor? Well, I thought, a taxi number, but that's what the others were offering. 24-hour taxi service, well, that's what others were offering. 50p off if they call us by using the card, but that's what others were offering. What's in it for the customer? I can see what's in it for you, that they'll call you. But what reason have they got to call you over someone else? What are the benefits? How does the customer benefit? Is your offer irresistible? No. Can you now see why your advertising isn't working? I say, yeah, I can. You chucking all this money into advertising that is not tested to work. You're chucking this advertising in front of the customer that 6 others are doing, and the customer can't do eeny, meeny, miny, mo because they're all the same. So why should they pick you? That's why they're not picking you. So your advertising that you've been calling advertising, which is my case, as far as I'm concerned about advertising, in actual business sense, I'm doing nothing for the business. It's not bringing any customers in. If I've just painted my door, fitted a new window, I'm driving a new car, and I bought new staff in, how does that benefit my customer? My customer just cares about one thing. What's in it for me? And I'm not giving them anything. So why should they call me? So this business about me doing advertising is a market-given reason for my business to survive was bullcrap. This is why businesses go bankrupt. The others that are surviving, they've been there for years and years and years, plodding along. Nobody seems to be doing anything different. But for a new guy to come into the market to try and ask for success ain't gonna work. And it didn't work. So now I found out. I didn't know when I thought I did. The advertising we've been doing hasn't worked. Us coming into this business as new for our staff and customers was a cancer for them. We were new. We never gave them any new hope that made them stay where they were and instead run, which they did. So the customer staff had no reason to stay. Drivers had no reason to stay. And customers had no reason to join us. And I'm beginning to see that the Titanic had to sink. It had to sink. And it was gaining water. It was gaining water and it was going down fast. So I said, Chris, I see that now. What's the way out? Thank you very much. Thank you very much for showing me. That's the biggest day of my life. The day I realized that I don't know. And I was glad to admit it. And now the regret was gone. The remorse was gone. See you in the next video.